Greetings, everyone. This is DJ, your host for Pure Energy Connections. Connecting in pure energy is health freedom. So, the art of awakening in truth, wisdom, and inner healing. I am the founder and creator of Pure Energy Connections and VI Meditation for 30 plus years. Shared methods of obtaining wellness, peace, privacy, and security, and sustainability too. Growing natural food, nutritional food, organic food. So today, though, I am thrilled to have Fred Foster back on the show. He's helping us naturally restore the balance of human chemistry, where the composition of our bodies can be restored to original mineral combinations, and also helps the body to detoxify heavy metals, chemicals, and toxins, electrifying and being rejuvenated at the cellular level. This is so important, folks. So, naturally increase your energy levels, memory function, improve your skin, and reduce inflammation, and much more. And this is not just for people, it's for our furry friends too, including our food gardens. I can't wait to get into all this with Fred. It's by far one of the most overlooked areas in wellness. Our body is 75% water, and bottled water has chemicals, plastics leached into it. Plus, it's typically filtered with reverse osmosis, which takes out most of the natural minerals that were in the water. So, what if you could have cellular hydration at 32% compared to that of ordinary water, which is only 2 to 4%? Well, Fred has one of the most unique products on the market that does all of this naturally, and I believe is the missing link to wellness and a quality of life. So, I'm honored to have Fred again on the show today with us, sharing what this product can do in his 13 years of watching his family, friends, and customers literally change their life. Fred obtained a BS degree from Eastern Michigan University, my hometown, Michigan, or my home state, I should say, Michigan, as mathematics major and physics minor, and then became a scientific and business computer programmer. And after retiring, this is when Fred learned about this all natural, special, bioavailable product, and it's even changed his own life. Fred is the president of Vitala for over 13 years and excited to share more about this product that is helping thousands of people worldwide. Fred, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ. It's a real privilege to be back with you this week.
Thank you. Oh, we're so excited. And I know you're going to have I know you'll have more testimonials for us too, which is really exciting. I really enjoyed that part in our last show. But go over more about what your product does so people that didn't see your last show have a little idea of the incredible benefits from it.
Well, I'll be glad to do that. Just kind of review a little bit what the product does. It actually, when you add our minerals, they're liquid, and you add the minerals to your water, your drinking water, and so on, it will structure the water, and it will make it so that it will get into your body 2 to 4 times faster than normal water, hydrates your cells by 32%, and it will detox the water, the poisons and toxins that's in the water. It will get rid of all them. And so it just makes a very healthy water for us to drink. And it does amazing things for our body as well. So, perhaps I'll go into more detail on that later, but uh, it just makes our water so healthy for us. And that is what is so exciting about sharing these minerals with people all around the world.
Well, it brings the water back to almost its natural status, meaning it mineralizes it, it helps it structures the water, and that's how it reduces. What is it you mentioned before? I think the clusters are much smaller because it's structured. How did you explain that? Because that was very interesting.
Well,
Why it
normal
hydrates.
water, yeah, normal water, DJ, has anywhere from 32, 64, 128 H2O molecules that are hooked together in either long strings or big clusters. And when these minerals are added to the water, it breaks those clusters apart into just small clusters of just 6 H2O water that is in a hexagonal shape. And that's why they call this water hexagonal water. They also call it living water, um, structured water. Those are all names for this type of water. And it is for that reason that when you swallow this water, it is it gets into your body much faster because it's much smaller clusters of just six. So that's why it hydrates the body so well.
And
Um,
that's why you've
and
seen so many testimonials. The testimonials were incredible because for the first time, people are actually getting hydrated. The water's getting into the cells of the body. And that's why people's life is just turning completely around. And I know I use your product too. I love your product, Fred. It's amazing.
well, thank you. I've been using it for 13 years now, and it is truly amazing. And I think I shared last time some of the things that it did for me, and that's exactly why I'm here today. I'm 79 years old, um, and I'm no longer the same person I was back 14 years ago when I discovered these minerals. I'm a different person. It's like I'm 30 years younger, DJ. It's amazing. And I got my energy back and I got my memory back and I can do things that wasn't able to do before. If you remember last time I mentioned that I couldn't even make a fist. I couldn't even pick up a pen or pencil, couldn't sign my name, had to get a signature stamp, and so many things that now, I could go back to gardening and mowing my lawn and doing so many things that I love to do that I wasn't able to do anymore. So
Well,
that's
you know what I like is that it's the first thing I do in the morning. And I don't only put a teaspoon into a gallon of water, I also put extra drops in. I put 10 to 20 drops in my 8 ounce glass of water, and I get so much energy. It is amazing, Fred. I can get out in the farm, work with the horses and the chickens and the dogs. And yeah,
yeah.
I just feel, and I don't drink caffeine. Now, I did have a little caffeine today. I admit I rarely do that, but your drink is my energy, literally. And it's the most natural energy I have ever had.
Well, that's what it does, and it helps clear our mind as well. Helps us with our memory. I was having serious problems with that, and within a week, that all went away, and all these names came flooding back into my mind, and so it changed me back to a younger man again, and it's been that way now for going on 14, going on 15 years now.
Amazing. And also, Fred, I don't know if we mentioned it last time, but let everyone know your two different sizes of the bottles that you have and how much water it actually creates.
Well, thank you. Yes. Well, on our website, we are selling 32-ounce bottles, and that will purify 192 gallons of water, whether it's your tap water, your well water, your bottled water you buy at the store, it doesn't matter. 192 gallons can be purified by a single 32-ounce bottle of our super mineral water. And then we also have a 16-ounce bottle, and that will purify 96 gallons of water. Uh, and so, yeah, it's amazing how long this will last, depending on whether you're doing all three parts of the protocol, but it can last up to 6 months for a small family
Well, Fred, I'm
for the
also,
three.
yeah, oh, definitely. And Fred, I'm also putting it in a small little spray bottle, and I spray the vegetables and fruits that I get from my garden, or if I get them from the farmer's market, just to take off anything that's on them, any bacterias or anything. And I also spray my toothbrush, and I've also been spraying my body.
That's good. Yes. Well, you're in Florida, DJ, and we recommend people that live in Florida, especially because they put chlorine in their water so much that when you take a shower, you got all this chlorine that is still on your body, and so we do recommend that you get the treated water, which is the 1 teaspoon per gallon, and you put some of that into your spray bottle after your shower before you dry off, spray your body off with this treated water, and then rub that off and into your skin, and then you can towel dry and so on, and that will remove that chlorine from your body, and you feel much more refreshed when you do that.
Oh,
And there's so
definitely.
many other uses that you can use with this spray bottle. You can if you spray it on, if you have a black and blue mute, uh, on your arm, your leg, where you bruise yourself, and you can spray it right on that, and that can disappear that black and blue mark in a matter of 2 or 3 days. It's gone. You can also use it to spray your clothing. For example, you know how static cling happens, and if you spray your clothing with that, it removes that static cling. If you have bee stings or wasp stings, you can spray it right on there and it'll help that pain go away quickly. And there's just a lot of uses for it. You
I,
mentioned a couple yourself.
Yeah, I was out back doing the seeding, for our spring harvest, our spring gardens, and I got bit by something. It was not a mosquito. It welted up on my hand here. So I immediately, when I came in, washed my hands, and then I sprayed it. And I even used a drop, 100% strength, which I know you don't, recommend that, but I even used that, just a drop right on it, and the burning, everything went away, and the next day it pretty much went down. So it was great.
Yes.
So
There's a lot of uses of these minerals, and over time we'll get into various ones. And yeah,
mhm.
today I've got, a few stories that I'd love to share with you. And some of them are kind of carryover from the stories I told last time that hopefully your listeners may go back to take a look at the last program that we did. And some of those stories I have uh, things that happened after those stories. And I'm going to share some of those today with you, DJ.
That'd be great. That'd be great. And the next show too, Fred, I just want to let our audience know that I would love for you to come back and talk about what it's done for the animals. I know you
Oh,
have amazing testimonials for that. And I, of course, use this product for my little dog, Nakia, and she's doing absolutely amazing. And once in a while, when she itches, I'll actually spray, like you said, spray her body.
mhm.
And yeah, and I spray her paws. So yeah, so the next show I definitely want to get a little more detailed about with the animals, but I would love to hear more testimonials. I mean, that last show just blew me away, Fred. It was amazing what this product's doing.
Well, let me start with one, a very, very good dear friend of mine. One morning I got a phone call from his wife. Her name was Doris. And anyway, Doris called me and she said, Fred, I've got really bad news. Your really good friend, Dick, he has turned all gray, a very dark gray, and he's in a lot of pain and he doesn't even want to live anymore. And we called the doctor, and the doctor said, oh, it sounds like he might have leukemia. Get him in an ambulance right away. Rush him up to the emergency room. I will meet him there. So she called me just before she was leaving to go to the hospital. And as soon as I got that call, I quickly mixed up some minerals because this was quite new into my uh, using the minerals. So I mixed up some minerals, both strengths of it for treated water, drinking water, and also the boosted drink strength. And I got that all ready. And then I went up to the hospital. And by the time I got to the hospital, uh, Dick was no longer in the emergency room. They admitted him. And so I went
Mhm.
up to his hospital room. And in his room, there were 12 of his family members. And I wondered, what in the world's going on? Well, come to find out, when the doctor saw him, he said, Dick is uh, in very, very bad shape, and we don't even expect him to live till morning. So if he has any relatives that you want to say goodbye to, to their dad, their uncle, their grandpa, their brother, whoever, get him in now because we really don't expect him to be around come morning. And that's what I walked into. And there was Dick laying on the bed, and I explained to the family members why I was there, what I had in my shopping bag, and so on. And I went over to Dick, and he was laying on the hospital bed with his eyes closed, and he was the deepest, darkest gray, DJ. Oh, it looked terrible.
Mhm.
And anyway, I leaned over and said, Dick, I love you too much to let you die. You've got to promise me you'll do your very best to drink this special mineral water that I brought up. He opened his eyes and he said, Fred, I love you too, but I just can't. I don't have the strength. I can't even hold the cup. And that's when two of his grandchildren spoke up and said, Grandpa, we'll stay here the rest of the day. We'll pour it in your cup. We'll hold it up to your lips. We'll help you. And in fact, Grandpa, we're going to do even better than that. Every time we pour you a cup and do what Fred suggests that you do, we'll pour us a cup and we will drink it together. You know, the three of us do it as a family. And I thought,
Mm.
oh, yes, that's exactly what he needs. So that's what they did. They stayed the rest of the day and followed my directions. And so the next day, I went back up to the hospital. And when I got there, Dick was sitting up in bed. The color had returned to his face and hands and arms and everything. It was all back to normal again, a big smile on his face. And he said, Fred, I'm so glad you talked me out of giving into it yesterday. I feel so much better today, but I've got some good news and some bad news. Which would you rather hear first? I said, well, give me the good news. I want to hear the good news. Well, he said, well, first of all, I don't have leukemia. The doctor did some testing and it was not leukemia. And that's where the bad news comes in. I said, oh, really? Then what's the bad news? Well, I have a rare form of lymphoma, which no one has ever lived more than 6 months. And in order to live even, a few months' time, I have to be put on chemo, a very powerful chemo, because the cancer cell count in my blood is so very, very high. And I said, oh my, that is bad news. I'm sorry to hear that. And I said, but I'm not going to get between you and the doctor. That's up to you and the doctor about your chemo. But whatever you do, don't stop drinking the mineral water like I told you to do. And he said, oh, Fred, I won't. It has made such a difference already. Well, that was Tuesday when I went back up to see how my friend was doing. And then uh, they scheduled his first chemo for Friday. So now all day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning before his chemo session, he was getting my minerals into his body. And that's when he was feeling so much better. And the nurses told him, well, Fred, Dick, we're going to be giving you very heavy dose of chemo today. It's going to make you very, very sick, and you're going to think you're going to die just from that. But don't worry, as soon as you start feeling a little sickness to your stomach, we'll give you some medication to help you through that, and you're not going to die. So anyway, they administered the chemo, and when they were done, they went to him and said, well, Dick, how are you feeling? Oh, I feel fine, Dick said. I don't need anything. Well, finally, the nurses stopped asking and they sent him back to his room, and then they'd go in there every 20 minutes and ask him, has it kicked in yet? No, no. So all day long, Dick didn't feel the effects of this chemo at all. Finally, at 6 o'clock, the cancer doctors came into his room and said, Dick, you're the most unusual patient we have ever had. Everybody that's had that dosage of chemo gets really, really sick, and it didn't even affect you. And finally, when they uh, dismissed him from the hospital, I went up there and got him, and I'm the one that took him home. And so anyway, I went over the mineral use with him again, and well, Dick went to either one or two more. It's been 11 years, 12 years ago or more, and I can't remember if he went to one or two more chemo treatments. But then he decided, I'm not going to do that anymore because that's killing everything, all the cells in my body, not just the cancer cells. So he stopped doing it. And then
Ooh.
when he went back to his doctor again, the doctor, saw him in the exam room there and had his chart and said, Dick, I see here that you haven't been to a chemo session in weeks. What in the world are you thinking? Do you realize this is a matter of life and death for you? And Dick said, well, I just decided I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't want to take that chemo. So the doctor said, well, tell you what, I can draw some blood right now. I can take a look at it in my microscope, and I can tell you how much time you have left. And so Dick said, okay, go ahead. So he did. The doctor made up a blood slide, looked at it and tossed it aside, made up a second one, tossed that one aside. Then he made up a third one. Then it dawned on him. He went back to the exam room and said, Dick, I don't know how to explain this to you, but I could not find a single cancer cell in your blood at all anymore. What in the world have you been doing?
Mm.
Well, that's now been, 12, 13 years ago. Dick and I, we have breakfast once a month together. We still celebrate that victory that he had over that disease that the doctor showed him the manuals and so on and the reports that said no one had ever lived more than 6 months. But well, it's been 12, 13 years, and Dick and I still
That,
celebrate.
Fred,
One story.
that is amazing. And just in my own mind, I'm thinking that he went through, first off, the chemo easier because this product detoxes, toxins and heavy metals and all these things. So it probably that's why I'm guessing that's why it probably didn't affect him as much because I have a friend that actually was going through chemo also for cancer, and he was drinking the water. And it's amazing because he said he would walk in the room where all his friends that he made, during the chemo visits, and he went in there and he said they look like death worn over. And he
Mm.
walked in almost dancing on tiptoes. Oh, he said, DJ, he says, I felt great through all my chemo. So there's something to say for that. Definitely. For that is exciting.
Well, that's very true. And last time I spoke about these three women and
Mhm.
how one of the women that had the problem with their neck, and they got that resolved in 3 days. And
Mhm.
then she asked me, "Fred, do you have any more of those minerals? I have a friend that I'd like to give some to." And I said, "Yeah, sure. I always carry that." So anyway, I gave her a bottle and she gave it to her friend and didn't tell me anything what her friend was going on.
Mhm.
Well, later, a week later, that friend of hers called me and said, "Fred, you don't know me. You don't know what I was going through, but my friend gave me these minerals and I did exactly what she said." But she said, "Fred, I have stage 4 cancer and I'm going through chemo right now. And every time I go to a chemo session, when I'm done, I am so sick and so wiped out. They have to physically pick me up and put me in my wheelchair, and I'm in it for a week, where somebody has to put me in and out." She said, "Fred, that after I started drinking your minerals like my friend told me to do, I went to my next chemo. And when they were done with the chemo treatment, I got up to leave, and then I realized, hey, I don't feel any of the effects that I had before, none of them. I got up, I'm standing, I'm walking out myself." And she said, that's when she called me. She said, "Fred, I can't stand the thought of going to another chemo session. Well, these minerals, I've got to have more. Do you have more?" And I said, "Yeah, come get them." And she did. And so that's another story. And now, I think I mentioned last time the medical doctor who was a cancer surgeon, that was the one that developed the 3-part protocol, has brought over 50,000 cancer patients to complete
Mhm.
remission. And now over these 14 years, DJ, I have many, many, many cancer patients that are on the minerals and so on. And I think last time I explained what really happens, because I do have to say that it's not the minerals that will heal you. We can't say the minerals will heal or
Mhm.
treat or cure or prevent any disease. They don't do that. But what they do is they get the body back into balance again, back into homeostasis, so that the immune system of our own body is what does the healing. But, because of the terrible uh, environment in which we live, whether it's the water we drink that have all these toxins or poisons in them, or the air we breathe,
Mhm.
or the food we eat with all the toxins on them and sprayed right on the mineral on the fruit and vegetables and so on. We eat it and ingest that, Um, so that is what happens is with these minerals. The three main causes of sickness, illness, and ultimately disease is lack of high quality bioavailable trace minerals. And the second thing is because of the toxic environment in which we live, our bodies get full of these toxins and poisons. And then the third thing is stress, believe it or not, whether it's chemical stress or physical stress or mental stress or spiritual stress, doesn't matter. But when this stress meets up with the toxins in our body, which meets with our lack of trace minerals, these three things, when these three things happen, our body's own immune system shuts down. And when that happens, our body can no longer fight off the pathogens that enter our body. And then we start to get sick, and then we get ill, and then we get diseased. And by following the protocol with these minerals, it takes care of all three of those areas, whether it's, the trace minerals, the toxins, or the stress. And when that goes away, we get back into balance, and then our own immune system starts functioning again. And
Uh-huh.
that's what is amazing. And it's our own immune system that God designed us for that does the actual healing, not the minerals, but the minerals do play a part.
Well, Fred, I have to say that, of course, anyone listening to this, always consult with your doctor. Like Fred said, it doesn't treat or cure. However, I do want to mention too, Fred, is that I've been using trace minerals for at least 20 years. And because I drink distilled water, I distill all my water. I want the cleanest water possible, and I have to put it back in. But I have never detoxed and felt this good and had energy from using any other trace minerals. And I also used to get shin splints a lot. And, I've always been active in bodybuilding and, of course, working on the farm here. But I noticed using your product, I detox, I feel better. My skin looks amazing. My eyes even look clear. And so, what is different about where you get your minerals?
Well, the difference is these minerals are all natural. A lot of the minerals that you buy at the health food store, they might come from the Great Salt Lake or somewhere, and they're really nothing more than crushed up mineral rock, and they're not bioavailable. They don't really absorb properly into our bodies and so on, like our minerals do. Ours are all natural liquid and made from deep within the earth. And anyway, that is what is the main difference is that ours are all natural, designed by God to help us and help the animals and help the agriculture, the trees and plants and so on. All living things benefit from these minerals. And
Hmm.
that's the main.
Yeah, I think you said they come from very specific places from the planet too, which I'm sure that makes a difference also.
Well, mainly it's from volcanic regions, and
Yes.
volcanoes are all over the earth. And so, yes. And the scientist that discovered these minerals and was the first one to make them and so on. He searched for 20 years for the richest source of these minerals all over the earth. And when he
Mhm.
found them, then he made arrangements to have access to them, and then he patented how he produced them. He made special machinery, and he patented how he extracted these minerals, from the earth, and
Mhm.
uh, and that's how, he was an atomic scientist is what he was, DJ,
Wow.
and and anyway, he found a way that actually removed the radioactive isotopes from the water with these minerals.
That
And
is,
when Chernobyl took place, the Russian government hired him to come there, and they were so amazed with how he was able to clean up the radioactive isotopes over there in Chernobyl that they offered him $400 million, CJ, if he would grant them the exclusive rights to his patents. And he said, no, uh, I wasn't smart enough to figure out how to do this, but he said God and his angels revealed it to me. And so this was a gift to all of humankind, all of living kind. And I'm not going to grant it to any individual or any country that could have exclusive control and deny it to the human race. And that's, so I'm making it available to everyone.
good to hear that. Well, Fred, we only have a few minutes left. I do want to tell the audience that you've allowed them to get your product at a discount for being here at the show. So the discount code is going to be Pure Energy. It's all one word. So when you go to vitalausa.com, you can put that in as a discount code at checkout time. And also, Fred, can I mention also that you have a lot of documentation, research, lab work that has been done? Is that something that someone can write you and ask for?
Oh, yes, they can certainly do that. If they go to that website you mentioned, the vitalausa.com, they can, send an email to us. They could, write a message to us.
Okay,
And then,
good.
I can respond. If they include in their message what their email is, then I can send them a lot of information. I'd be glad to do that.
Good, wonderful. I know because I know you sent it to me and it was amazing what you sent me. I was blown away by the research and all the documents. So, next show, Fred, will you please come back and tell us how this is helping all our loving animals, our pet friends? And next show that we can have together, hopefully, is really soon. But also, just to let our audience know that you can go to our YouTube channel, which is Pure Energy Connections. And you can see all the replays that we're going to have. Everything's going to be up there coming from Transformation Talk Radio. And you can go to Transformation Talk Radio, look up Pure Energy Connections. We are on every third Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we will have the recordings, of course, here at the YouTube channel too. And I'm excited to get more information out about this product, Fred, because this is amazing. It's something that is missing from our wellness program.
Yes, that's true. And I have so many stories that I can share. I have thousands of customers all over the world now, and
Mm.
I have received so many wonderful messages of the help that they have received. And I have so many things to share. Uh, and I can go beyond the stories I already told last time and even this time. I have stories about autism and about Parkinson's disease and about all kinds of things that have happened that I really want to share with people because so many people are suffering from so many of these same things. And there's help, there's real help. And, DJ, I really don't sell minerals. What I do sell is hope. I give people hope for the first time, they have hope that maybe their condition can be brought to a better position for their lives, just like it was for me and for Dick and for all these other ones.
Instead of just accepting it and living with the pain and the condition like arthritis, fibromyalgia, diabetes, all these things. Yeah, yeah. Instead of accepting it, that it's the best thing to do is try your product, Fred. Well, thank you again for being here, and let's touch base about our animals next time. Of course, we have a lot more to go into because there's so many things your product can do. And thank you again. Thank you for being at Pure Energy Connections.
Well, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure to be here. I just love sharing this information with people because it makes such a difference.
And we can see the passion. Yes, we can see your passion, Fred. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. And take control of your health. It's in your hands. Pure Energy Connections. Visit us again soon. All the best to everybody. And bye for now.